Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to continue talking about Amon Hillman's band tour. This is such a fascinating endeavor, something to talk about because it shows a lot about who Amon is. It says a lot about how groups, control groups specifically, operate in the real world, um, especially in compared to Amon's group, which is typically in online. So you see an interesting dynamic where this group is usually only online, but now you ask what happens in person. It shows a little bit about what Amon's character is. We've kind of talked about that, but we'll get into that in a second. It's really, really interesting, as well as how people in a group like this respond to seeming mistakes, seeming things out of a character. A normal person, if someone makes this mistake, might say, "Oh gosh, that's not good that they did that," or maybe not look negatively on them, but uh, be more willing to say, "Hey, that's obviously they messed up," or be able to laugh at something if it's it's funny, even if you see that as a negative thing, you can still laugh at your own mistakes or other mistakes because like things happen in life, right? But this time in this type of group, what many might consider a cult, this type of group, there isn't any really room for that because laughing at the leader of the group is seen as like, oh no, we don't do that because this guy is the best. We can't even see any negative flaws in him. Because that makes us feel uncomfortable and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's actually talk about what happened on the tour. We'll give a little bit of recap and then we'll get into the details of it. So first, I want to look at this from the perspective of somebody actually in Amon's group, because Amon's group, of course, thinks so super, super, super highly of Amon. He is gospel truth. He's got all this special wisdom that nobody else on the planet has. I mean, that's actually somewhat true in that nobody else claims what Amon is claiming. Even when you have some wild, crazy scholars out there, still nobody's claiming what Amon is claiming. And so that gives you some aura of like, oh, this guy has some special wisdom and stuff like that. So yeah, people think super, super, super highly of him. Um, but yeah, so let's look at what you kind of expect when you go to this kind of band, and if you're in this kind of group, how you see the world is I think this is a good little summation of this.
Enlightenment. It is the mystery of sex. And just say, what? Sex is not a mystery. It's a thing where people put the hoo-ha and flitter flatter, and you get little kids coming out. That's what sex is. No, it turns out sex is a mystery. It is an explanation of life and the achievement of the orgasm is a means of enlightenment, and that is why all men must be castrated.
Okay, so honestly, this is pretty cool. That's almost even like better experience than online, and Amon's online experiences are pretty exciting. So you've got like this really deep, cool music, and Amon saying all this wild stuff, and he's even a little funny there with the whole the hoo ha and whatever else he said with referring to sex jokes. But so this is like what you expect. It's like the cool music and the smoke, and like this is like the dream of like, oh shoot, I'm seeing this guy in person. This guy is amazing, and like this is what you expect.
And I will end with this prophecy. There will be a day in this land when you no longer worship people.
So that's fun, right? He calls himself even a prophet. Um, yeah. So this is I think that you're onto something there, Marcel. He was finally comfortable by this point. He even commented on this himself. So let's check out the first video, very first thing that happens on the tour, when it starts. Okay, we'll start at the very beginning just to get a glimpse of it, and then I'll show what I kind of want to show.
People, guess how much money we've made at Lady Babylon? Zero. We're not monetized. Why? Because we don't suck dick.
So like that's a really interesting way to start. It's possible that might not have been the exact first words, but yep. So really interesting way to start. Odd that he says that because he does make money from his Greek lessons, and at the minimum, people have made money from having him show up. Whether or not he made money, I don't know.
Congregation. We have started the crusade with a storm. Oh God, we flew in with a storm today. And so what I'm here to do is I'm here to initiate people quickly into what we are all about.
So this is really interesting, right? Because what you picture is that lovely music and the smoke and all that. That's what you see when you think about going on tour with Amen. What you got was, at least in the first one, so they showed up late. We'll talk about that in a second. And like there's all kinds of people moving around. Not great presentation. Even the background is like kind of rough quality there. You can't even see the words. There's some problems with the video here. Like it randomly just not great.
Never been, and from know what that happened, the naked boy. And there is no Hebrew Old Testament. That is a lie. You cannot cram. You cannot cram. Look, we're catching Jesus. This is all in the Bible. Oh God, it's so graphic. And here it is. Do you know what Noah said? He said the stuff in the sponge was an antidote for the viper's poison.
I just love this. I love that. I mean, I guess that's the only way you got to do it. It's just seems like there could have been a better way. There had to be a better way for his starting presentation, to not have some guy like just standing even actually in front of him as the center of attention. To like it's distracting, honestly.
They were using, they're boosting it right up the front, right? Because that's how you have to take 5%. God damn it, hail Satan, indeed. Here, people, you think I'm making this up? That's Julius Caesar. He's fighting with people like Jesus that they're crucifying. They call them lifestyle traffickers of children. People do what they want, and you get Tiberius, who uses the children and then throws them over the cliff. Do you understand? That's where you're headed. I'm a prophet, bitches. That's where you're
This is the second time saying he's a prophet. That's interesting.
headed. Oh, let me show you one lovely. People, look at this. You may not be able to see it, but this says 7,000 on the right. And that says over 1.5 and up. That is the power of Mother Greek over ancient Hebrew. It is not an invention. Do you understand? Mother Greek proves not all language.
And you could actually hear people in the background, which that's just a little weird. Like, are people talking during his presentation? I can only imagine what it is like for someone that has no idea who Amen is to show up and just be like, what is this guy talking about? This is just like conspiracy theory level stuff. Why is he saying all this? And why is people caring what he actually has to say? And then like just the random stuff where it's like, typically, at least if you've seen my other channel where I interview biblical scholars, most biblical scholars are like real crusty old guys and nobody cares what they're saying. They have very little influence in the world. It's just like talking about some 3,000-4,000 old text that nobody cares about. Some guy selling some shoes for 30 shekels 60 years ago. 60 years, what am I talking about? 2,000, 4,000 years ago to some other guy in a hut, and the other guy ripped him off. Like, that's what a lot of these texts are talking about, that people just don't really care about. It's not really interesting. But when you come up here, all of a sudden, Amen somehow makes that interesting. Why would anybody care about the Hebrew and the Greek, which came first? Why is that what Amen stands on? It's like, in some ways it is foundational to his argument, but I mean, it's not like people in his group are like really aware of the different dating of texts in the ancient world. So um, I just know that from the outside looking in, and I'm watching this, if someone random's watching this, they're like, "What are you talking about? What Greek and Hebrew? What is it? What are you talking about? That, and what relevance does that have?"
Language is created equal. Do you understand? Mother Greek spent 7,000 words.
7,000 words. How does that have anything to do with anything, right? Why would anybody care?
It's the number of words that you have.
Now, what I'm saying is from the perspective of somebody that just like new to this. Now, of course, I'm aware of his arguments. I'm aware that they're not very good as well. But that's a conversation for one of my other videos that I've had. You should check out.
In ancient Hebrew. That's the vocabulary of a third grader. Do you understand? These are documents. What is the take-home message, people? You have a
And just really quickly here, I mean, that's such a dumb thing to say, the vocabulary of a third grader. That Amin knows that the texts that we have in the Hebrew Bible are not the only texts that existed, nor was it what people said. Like, just because we only have a certain amount of words in paper doesn't mean that there aren't other texts, and it doesn't mean that there wasn't a spoken language using these words, right? So whether or not we have a certain amount of words that just happen to be the similar level of what a third grader would speak does not mean that the words on the text are what people spoke. Obviously, someone who has a language is going to use more words.
Much richer history than you think. You have a much more beautiful path. You have medicine open to you that you don't understand, because none of you would ever say a woman could create a miracle in her own body. Oh, God.
What is he talking? What is he talking about now? And nobody would say a woman could create a miracle in her own body. How does that have anything in connection? So, yeah, it's very interesting choice here. As we said before in the previous video, like, there's no Greek lesson here. There's no like lecture actually on history. He's just saying a bunch of random things, and it's very interesting how people respond to that, as we'll look at in a second.
People, thank you for giving me your time tonight. I wanted to brave a bit with you, Satanic Congregation. I hope that you enjoyed Junius Sotera, who is herself that priestess, who is so influenced, that muse who flew into Putnam. Oh, God. People, where's...
I also love how like they're just like actually talking. You can kind of hear them on the mic because they're trying to set things up. And watch this, watch this. He just like he's doing his presentation. This guy just walks by and just like taps him. Really, really interesting presentation choice. It's their first time. Like I don't expect them to be perfect. I don't think like somehow he's wrong about the Greek or something because of his presentation. It's just very interesting for this. This is how it went down. This is not how I expected. All right, so we are done with that one. We're done with that one. Let's go on to just a couple comments real quick. So Marcel, so yeah, I did move my Lego Slave 1 to the shelf there. It's a classic. I'm a big Lego fan. Had that since I was a kid, so appreciate you checking that out. So let's see what else we got here. Okay, so let's look at just how the Ammonites respond. The main person we're going to look at right now is Bori, who is one of the Discord moderators. That so this person has the control to basically kick somebody out, prevent them from talking in essentially the cult, because essentially the cult runs through Discord. Like, it's through the comment section of YouTube, kind of on YouTube, but for the most part, it runs on Discord. All the conversations are on Discord. This is how they manage any kind of communication at all in the slightest. And he has the power to kick people out. And we'll see if it actually loads here. We will see if it... Okay. Being a little weird. Okay. We're good here. Let's do it.
It's there's never a perfect show. There's no such thing as a perfect show. Something's always going wrong, and you just have to deal with it. The show must go on, is what we say in show business. And that's just how you got to do it. So, like even from the jump, from the beginning of the tour, it started off. They were driving through a storm, right? And then they were delayed about an hour or so. They had to push the show back. And then they get to the event, they get to the venue, and they immediately have to start setting up. And Ammon is doing his presentation while they're setting up. And so people that are unaware, that haven't really been paying attention, they're like, what's up with all the commotion and stuff behind them? And it kind of sucks that, they're doing all that while he's trying to talk, but it's like shit happens. Stuff happens, and you just got to deal with it. You got to push through and keep going. So yeah, they got to the venue late, and they immediately had to set up. And Ammon had to do his thing, and there was like technical difficulties where his laptop got cut from the screen. Little things like that you can never plan for, but you shouldn't really be surprised when something like that comes up, because there's always going to be something that goes wrong, always going to be something that goes against what you had envisioned and what you had planned. But yeah, so then there was the mic situation, where
all right, so let's talk about the mic situation.
People were having a hard time hearing him. But if you pay attention, like, to the way he was performing it, like, he tends to do this. Baltimore sounded better. He tends to do the Greek more like a lower tone. He like puts more of his gut into it as he's doing the Greek.
Okay, so yeah, let's actually watch what he's talking about. So yep, so this is generally how it sounds real quick. I did find it interesting that Bori is even mentioning these things, because the typical person in Ammon's group really, really hates talking anything negative at all about Ammon. I mean, if you look at my videos in these comment section, I'll make an argument, and almost 99.9999% chance, every single time basically, there is somebody that is not actually responding to even the video. They're just responding to something random. Like, I'll mention an argument about the Greek, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, what about this Greek?" Like, okay, that we're talking about this argument over here. We're not talking about this other passage that doesn't have anything to do with it. Or they'll talk about, "Oh, well, you're just doing things for money." Or, "Oh, do you even know Greek?" Or, "Oh, you're just a loser and you have a bad costume and you're ugly and everybody just hates Amen." Like, there's no actual addressing of what they see as a problem, because um, seeing Amen as wrong about anything makes them uncomfortable, because they associate their identity with Amen. Because if they see Amen is wrong, they think, "Oh, what else is wrong?" Or, "Oh, well, he's supposed to be like this source of wisdom and he's wrong. Well, then what does that say about me that I accepted somebody that was wrong?" Or what does it say about the group that, like, are we all living a lie? And some of it's not even um, logical thinking, but that's just how our brains work, especially in these type of control groups here. And there's also an idea of how people in these groups, they often will heavily shun and shame people that even question, even see even the positive slightest wrong. They will see it as like, "Oh my goodness, this is horrible. You're a terrible person because you're questioning Amen, and you are just not fit for this group." They'll rationalize it in certain different ways, like, "Oh, you're just kind of trying to cause drama. You're trying to pick holes when you don't even care that much," or all this other stuff. Um, there's all kinds of different ways to rationalize it, but at the end of the day, most people try to avoid this. So I'm actually surprised that Bori was even mentioning at all that that Amen, that their experience wasn't perfect. All right, here comes Amen on the left here. All right, so we saw this last time, but I just want to show it again. This is just like that persona that Amen gives is not exactly what you would expect in the real world. Um, you would expect someone that's like, got all this, like, this presentation and got this attitude and got everything set up correctly, and everything is like really good because he's awesome. And of course, he exudes this like some kind of confidence and charisma and like super cool attitude, and we're gonna do whatever we want because we can. But then when you see in person, like, he doesn't have that on-stage presence, which is a really big surprise to me. You don't really see this even for people in like a new band or something like that. Because, as I said before, so he walks up, he's standing a little awkward in the back, for I don't know what he's doing there, and then he goes to the front mic, and then the guy's like, "Oh, nope, it's over there." So what happened with the confusion there? Why didn't somebody tell him what mic he was? Is a really good question. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's the front one, of course." Nope, nope, not that one, not that one. It's the one on the right. Oh, okay. There's just so much chaos in so short a time. Very fascinating. And then this is what Bora was talking about, where his mic wasn't even on at all. He goes almost this whole song, I think, or maybe the whole song, and he doesn't even say anything, really. He's talking, but nobody can hear him. Okay, so it looks like they did turn it up there. by the way, he's speaking Greek, which I think is actually kind of cool. I know this is most people, right? Yeah, I mean, you'd think there'd at least be like a starting sound check, at least a little bit, right? But on that chaos, it's understandable why you have all this not looking good stuff. But um, you would think that they would at least have a small sound check. I also have other questions. It's like, well, is did they? You would think that they did practice. Is this what they want from Amon? Um, I'm very curious about that too. It's like, yes, that sounds cool, but did they want Amon to just go up there and just say random things, or was there certain things they wanted him to say? Man, he went kind of crazy there. Okay, he's kind of getting into it now. Okay, and here he is. He's talking, and he's not close enough to the mic, so nobody can hear him. Gotta say Hail Satan in there, right? Um, so that's kind of what Bori was talking about. Let's go back to how Bori responded to that.
And then when he does the English, he balls it out, like it just comes out loud. So there's that, right? And the Greek comes first, so he does the Greek first. So people are like expecting to hear his voice, but the way that he was vocalizing it, it wasn't really coming through the microphone like you would expect. And then there's also the from the first show, they didn't really have time to do a proper sound check, so they just ran with it. They just pushed forward and kept going, which is.
But also, if Junius is a group that's obviously been doing things before, and this is the first time having on, and then it makes sense that they're like, oh, well, we don't typically have this mic on, so it makes sense that they would have problems with that.
How it should be done, like you can huff and puff, and blame the sound man and stuff, but like you still have to do the show. You still have to perform. So. And that's what the people are there for. They pay tickets to go see the show. They pay tickets to see the band play, and that's just live shows. That's how it is. Professionals get it done. Detroit sounded great. Yes, yeah, it did. What was the first? First was Baltimore. Then it was Youngstown, right? And then it was Detroit, and then it was Chicago. Is that how it was? I can't remember the order right now, but it seemed like Youngstown kind of Baltimore was like more of a smaller impact with the people. Youngstown is where Madalena shows up.
Right. Yeah, I agree, Lilton. So to me, I'm no expert in rock music or anything like that, but or I mean, I don't even know what this kind of genre is specifically called. But yeah, I think that the Greek would sound super, super cool, but if it has to be mixed correctly. Otherwise, you're just kind of saying random words that people don't even understand anyways.
With a couple of the sisters. Photon Eater was there. Um, there was she brought another sister with her too. That was cool. And there, Jeff was there. You were there at Baltimore and at Youngstown, weren't you, Jeff? At Youngstown?
And this is huge for a group like the Ammonites because the Ammonites are almost only online, and these are people that like that's their family that they love, and that's their only friend group. Um, a lot of these people don't go out in the outside world. They don't talk to people. They don't have real relationship. It's all people online, and so to see all these people in person, your best friends, your quote unquote family, that's really really cool. And to see your prophet, that's even cooler, as we'll talk about in a second.
And also, who else was there? David. David was the MVP. Baltimore had a good turnout. Yeah. What's about and Youngstown, right? Okay.
Yeah, so did you guys hear that? David is the MVP. So, of course, David is the person that committed the essay, the grape, towards that woman. So this is before the news of that came out. And so that's really, really awkward. And we'll talk about what that was in a second, why he's so excited about this David guy. But I heard this the first time. I didn't even know who David was, and then you looking back on it, it's like, oh shoot, Jevin was the one who saw that here.
Yeah. Jeff showed up with the face paint too. Oh man, that was cool. I was kind of hoping to see more people with the face paint, but you know, it is what it is. That's how it goes. Thanks to Elle. Oh, what? She hooked you up? Is that how it was? She did. Yes. Elle coming through. Nice. Awesome. I fucking love it. Teamwork is just, I love it, man. It was great. It was really great to see everybody, together. And then
I don't think I could understand. I think Bori's 100% serious here, and like maybe even underselling it. Like he says it's great, but I think for these people, like this is just like the most amazing thing possible.
Seeing everybody get together at Youngstown with Madalena there, and then
Of course, Madalena is one of the top Ammonites, so she almost has her own little cult following in a way.
Detroit. There was more people that showed up, and then like Chicago was like kind of like the climax as far as like attendance, as far as like the congregation attending. That's when we had Snappy and Dion show up. Josh was there. David presented the Murex shells.
David presented the Murex show, so that's the second time he's mentioned David. So that's real fun. We should talk about David while we're at it, and then we'll get back onto the topic of how Ammon performed. So let's find. So most of you probably already aware of this, but David, Ammon makes that whole video of how David is such a bad person. Somehow Neil is a grapist too, as well as some other guy that has nothing to do with it, even though Neil has literally nothing to do with this whole situation. Sorry, I just burped. Awkward. So here's a screenshot of David saying, "Go and try to make it as many as you can. Someone has to supply the purple." So this purple's with the Murex shells. This what he's talking about there, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you're the goat. It's awesome. Good job. This is great." All right, and then we got some great little pictures. So this is little shells that you can see on the screen here. Supposedly they're pretty expensive, but he apparently used this to make quote unquote the purple, which is supposedly a drug. But the thing is, the purple, this shell, the ingredients of this shell, it doesn't make anything that like makes you hallucinate or anything like that. So if anybody, what they're implying is that it's gonna have you some kind of experience that you'll see in a second here. But it's like, okay, so what is being added to this that would make you have some type of experience?
He's literally it's in the shell still. He's giving it to Amen.
So this is Amen. Like Amen met this guy David, even though Amen acts like he never met him in his life.
Dude, thank you, dude.
David even just needs a little hang. Look at that smile on the left there, man. Yeah. So I mean, even for David, David's a big fan of Amen. So this is probably a big thing for him.
Yeah, dude. I got fit for sure. Snappy. Ooh, Snappy loves this shit. There he is right there. Him and Snappy. Good old pal.
So like as I said before, like this is super exciting for these people. Like the first time you ever meet him, like Snappy is a huge hero in this group. Very popular, been very from the very beginning almost.
Good. There's whatever that's going on there. Okay, it says different direction. Okay, so let's go the other way. This is right after happy to share.
Yep, so he's happy to share the purple there.
Share my purple with you that I pull. Look at that.
So, you know, stains the fingers, which is kind of cool. Honestly, that is kind of cool. At the same time, you know, what's really going on there?
Small amounts. Soma Library has a right of my.
So he's ingested small amounts.
Experience purple, and he says, "I'm referencing."
So this is like his picture of actually getting at the supermarket or whatever. Apparently, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and he
says he gave it to Amen in New York. So this is actually, when was that? That was like 3 months ago. So by the way, yeah. So you met Amen before even this group thing. Even though once again he acts like he denied it. And then this Modema person is like says something really interesting. The majority of
and you can see he.
So here's something interesting. Do you think the majority of the congregation understands what's going on with the initiation? So apparently some kind of initiation happened. And then Modema says, probably not, me included. Well, I have some clues. I just want to survive. Funny, not funny. I guess it's just anticipation of imminent death. So there is a heavy implication here that this is drugs that they're talking about, and the Modema person is somewhat worried that she might die. So that's not good. That's not good at all.
How is not take drugs now? Infiltrate.
All right. So that's about what I wanted to show there. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's see here. Yep. So we already talked about in person. We're all good there. Where is the next thing? Okay, 158.47. You guys talk about something cool. Yeah, here we go. So they say, do you think a lot of people are going to... Yeah, it seems to be very clearly about drugs. And we even have a picture of David and Boris somewhere around here that we've shown on the channel before. I want to show it because it's a good little picture. Nice little picture of everybody hanging out, having a good time. Might not be able to find it. That's okay. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I saw it. That's awkward. Almost got it. There you go. All right, so this is Bori to the left there, of course, and there is David, this supposed terrible person, Amen says, and he possibly is. And by the way, once again, whatever this person David did is alleged. We don't have any specific proof of it. It's important to not claim things that we can't verify ourselves. We should certainly not just trust Amin for what he said. But this person on the left there is, yeah, Bori. So even though in Amin's videos he cut Bori out because he doesn't want to have that implication. Oh, Bori is one of the top person. Why are you taking pictures with David? But yeah, these people definitely know each other. Yep. So that's that. And let's see here. What else we have here? We can go back to the video.
Man, Subatomic came through. Oh gosh, man, I really missed out. Oh, and Jeff came through with the stickers, right? So I'm really missing out on that real world connection. Being in
Jeff came through with the stickers. We'll talk about that in a second as well.
California, and not making a lot of money with my job, just didn't really put me in a position to where I could afford to make that trip. And I really experienced, but I'm really happy for everybody that got to go through. Oh, Hannah made it. I forgot to mention Hannah. She showed up to Detroit. Hey, Panda, what? I hope so. California, Raptor Seer, hello. Dion hit me up last week. She was at the Chicago show. Nice. And he surprised me because he lives not too far from the congregation. For the congregants that are in California or on the West Coast somewhere, that would be great. I don't know. There's also, I think his name is Alexander from California.
So you're just talking to people that locally, but it really emphasizes like he wants to see this in person. And you can tell that he's actually pretty upset that he was not able to go in person, which is interesting because it's like, okay, so a normal concert, it's like, well, the songs are all the same. You're going to be listening to mostly the same presentation song, but no, like this is their opportunity to spend time with the people in the group, which is not going to happen often at all. So, you know, in all actuality, he's missing out on a lot by missing.
Happen soon. We got to figure something out. Actually, a trip to Hawaii. Maybe
Next concert in Hawaii, right? You heard that there.
Just noticed that Stones and Serpents is streaming right now. Stream Cookies to Bake. It was really great to see everybody come together the way that they did. Looks like everybody got together the following morning in Chicago, like on Saturday morning. It looks like they got together at a Greek restaurant, which was awesome. Oh, Nathan was there too.
So it wasn't just like a, hey, go to the concert and leave. I mean, it makes sense that they would be able to get to spend time with each other. I would just absolutely love to see Amin in person because all we're getting is pictures and little snippets here and there. But to see Amin in the real world, I once saw a very popular Christian pastor, Paul Washer. I'm going to talk about it here because nobody probably knows who that is that's watching. But I met him in person, and he was exactly what I expected because his views on Christianity are really odd and weird, and sometimes you're just like, what are you even thinking? Like, why would you ever think that's a good idea? And some things he said is actually kind of harmful. Then I met him in person, and I wasn't surprised in the slightest because like he was super awkward and weird, and he was talking about just like random stuff and kind of going on like monologues. I was just like, hey, nice to meet you. And then he's like he did ask about myself, which I appreciated. Like it was interesting that he asked about like who I was. So, you know, he wasn't some just like high fluting tooting person that doesn't think that he should talk to people lowly like myself, even though he didn't actually know that I had a YouTube channel. So maybe he would have talked to me a little differently if I did. But if I did tell him that, yeah, so he was just very, very awkward and weird in person. And I think that kind of has a relevance to people online, because typically the people that are loved, the people that are accepted, are typically, yes, charismatic people do have a higher chance of being accepted and seen as trustworthy, but um, you to be a trustworthy person, you have to have like your brain has to be working good, right? You have to be able to talk to people and understand where they're coming from, communicate well. You have to be able to not think highly of yourself. You have to be able to because if you think highly of yourself, you're not going to be interested in other people's opinions. You're never going to be able to learn or improve or be corrected. Um, so there is an aspect where just a one-on-one conversation, being able to communicate on that kind of level, can be an indication of, hey, this person is uh, there's actually something going on there that, okay, they maybe they like their brains are working. It's kind of like a minimum. Now there are certainly some people that um, they're maybe neurotypical and awkward with conversations. That's a different situation there. But I kind of talk about that in my book there. For whenever it comes out, people can check it out. Um, um, if I can get it on the screen here. Bam! Testing the teachers, the hidden psychology of Christian authority. But I'll post about it whenever it does come out, sometime in the next month here. But anyways, let's keep going.
Uh, who else was there? Um, Mary Maggs was there. I'm trying to remember names, but I just loved it. I just loved seeing the photos. And
I think if I went on tour, I would fear for my life, to be honest. I mean, Amin has said stuff about Neil, like encouraging violence. Um, so I think Neil would have even a worse treatment, but I think that people would just not like me at all in the slightest to see me in person. They would just hate. I think I would have to wear a mask or something. And Jevim, everybody knows you. Some people don't know who I am, but everybody knows you. You are the sister of frustration. You even have your own little title. So yeah, I don't, I would be very scared to go in person. I don't think people would be very nice to us at all. And what would happen if we go and we go to like the restaurant that they go to? Would they like would they like yell at us to like leave, or I mean, who knows? Like, would they call the cops or something? You never know. Like, there's all kinds of people on YouTube that are no problem calling the cops over the silliest things. Who knows what would actually happen? But I would love to see it. I would love to be there in person. Also scared for my life.
seeing the people get together like the way that they did, it's really cool that this was made possible, that Junius made this possible, and they were able to bring Amin along, gave him a chance to spread his message, and looks like some people were.
And by the way, the message. So it's interesting phrasing there, because they see Amin, what he has to say, as like the second coming of Jesus, essentially. Like, they see it as he's got this special knowledge that he has to show everybody. It's going to change the world. It's going to right all the wrongs and help all kinds of people. Now, in reality, it's not really like that at all. Like, is there really any benefit to telling people that Jesus is uh, essentially a PDF? No, or like he did things with children, or any of the other stuff that he talks about. Whether the Greek came first instead of the Hebrew, like, is that really that life changing? No, I mean, yeah, it would change what people view in scholarship if hypothetically it was correct. But I mean, if anything, that would probably have more harm for the world, because of, and yeah, maybe some people on the channel might not be familiar with. There's a long list of positives that Christianity has done for the world. It's as far as like donations to the poor. And yes, there's certainly a lot of problems with Christianity, a lot of abuse that has happened, a lot of trauma. And if you're watching, you probably experienced it. At the same time, there's also lots of positives. So what I'm saying is, I'm getting rid of Christianity or making people think that Jesus was some type of person that loved little kiddos. Is probably not going to have the benefit that these people think that it will.
You know, campaigning to try to shut down Amin's presentations might have worked to a certain degree, because he wasn't able to do his presentation in where was it, Youngstown. He wasn't able to do the presentation. I don't think he did the presentation at the Post Fest yesterday. And it sucks that we didn't really get anybody to get the full performance of Serpent. Darko came through. Darko took a video of Serpent up until Amin.
Gizmo says, I was pretty much raised by Catholic nuns. I have no complaints. That sounds like an amazing experience. I could also see how that would be a little boring, but probably amazing. Let's see. Angel says, I can't get over Sith Lord when I look at this guy. So he's, you know, I'm sure you know this, but he's actually a big fan of Star Wars. And I think that he would be a really good Sith Lord. So if he's ever doing some cosplay, I think Boyer would be great at that. I'm a little jealous. There's not really. If I had a Star Wars character, I might be like Cal Kestis from the video game, but he's like ginger. He's not blonde. I don't know if there's any blonde people in Star Wars, so I can't really. Sadly, I wouldn't make a good, cosplay person. But Bori's got that. He's locked in. He's ready for it. There's a couple other comments about church and stuff like that. Yeah, there's positives and negatives. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say.
The Greek, right? He did his verse in Greek, and then he stopped recording, which is cool.
Oh, I want to comment real quick there. So apparently, somebody was trying to prevent Amin from saying his speeches, which I totally would understand because it's kind of vile, especially if there were like kids around or something like that. That's what I heard. I don't know if I can't verify that, but I do think it is interesting from the perspective as somebody who is like Bori, who sees Amin's as this great, amazing message that he has to tell everybody because it's great and awesome. And it's like, oh my goodness, they're trying to prevent us from speaking about that. That's horrible. And on the other hand, I would in person, like I would have loved to see Amin in person because if we watched that one video where you had all the cool music, it's like, oh man, that's awesome, that's amazing. Yeah, Amin's such a cool guy, and it's like almost like emotionally taking, which is cool. But at the same time, I'm just like, is it really there? But it's still really fascinating from the perspective of why they would prevent him doing that. Somebody needs to comment the live chat or in the comments, like, tell me more information. We got to figure out why they were preventing Amin from doing that.
I would have loved to see the whole thing, but that's just how things are sometimes. I don't know who else made it out to that Post Fest. He caught a bit, yeah. Amin singing is great. He has a knack. So
you hear that? So Amin singing is great. He has a knack.
He definitely looks like he was part of the band. Like
he looks like he's a part of the band. Do we need to show that? Let's see. Do we? I guess Bori missed that part there, because he admits that he at least there was some troubles, but I do think that he. It's almost like Bori did not notice anything that Amin awkwardly did. Like he noticed some problems with like the mic, which are a little like from performance, but it's like his awkward attitude. I think that Borg doesn't show any evidence that he's paying attention to that. Um, so like, so tell me this.
Like he was part of the band. Like
So he looks like he's part of the band. Does this look like somebody that's part of the band? Yeah, maybe when you get over here, he looks more like he's part of the band. But yeah, because like, yeah, I mean, they had him be part of the band, right? But I don't know, a little odd. Um, like, it's interesting that you will hear all these positive, like, oh yeah, Ahmed's great, and you see that in the comments of that video, where it's like, oh hey, Ahmed's great, and he's so natural, he's perfect, even in the comments here. You've got all kinds of, not all kinds of, he's the best, great performance. I don't know if Tommy's being serious or what, but um, um, the it is like did he actually look like a natural? I don't know. Let's watch a little bit more here and see what we come up with. Does this look like someone that's part of the band, like someone's naturally gifted for being a part of a band? Does this look like someone that's part of the band? Oh my gosh, it won't end. Okay, so we are a minute 57 in, and he has just finally said a word. Oh, that was like watching The Office and the super dry humor parts, and it's like really awkward and cringe. And there's an aspect where it's funny, but it's like it just makes me feel uncomfortable because you're just like I feel myself there. It's like like I mean, Ahmed is this huge. Uh, Ahmed is just like this huge guy here, and he is like this great, he's seen as this great figure, this amazing person. He's got this great message to share to everybody, and they didn't even really give him like they didn't even set him up well. Like, so the first concert, the first song they have, they don't tell him where the mic is. They don't get all the presentation set up for him. They don't really turn on his mic to start with. They don't even tell him where his mic is. And then this other place, I don't know what this is, in Youngstown. So like, I mean, did they just say, "Hey, go out there and do stuff"? Like, they didn't give him any direction. They don't give me. It seems to me, and I'm no expert here, but it seems to me that Amin is just like unsure of what to do. So he's just up there. like if I'm in charge of this, I'm going to be like, Amin, we need like this is you should do this, this, and this, and you should say this at this point, or something like that. Give him some direction because he's new, and that way, like you'll get the best presentation out of him, the best use of his skills. Otherwise, we're just having him walk around all weird. Yeah, there's no way to know how tall Amin is because we don't know how tall everybody else is. So you'd have to figure out how tall everybody else is first to be able to compare. I mean, I think they sound on a little kind of cool, honestly. I would love to see the crowd respond. How does the crowd respond to this? So Amin seems to be kind of getting into it more as he's going on. He's getting a little bit more confident. Here he even gives the middle finger to God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So that is that. Here is maybe some more of this kind of awkwardness. This is from Ash's uploaded Cringe Fest 2026. Oh, I think the video is being a little weird. Let's go back here. Oh, I think we skipped some. Gotta watch the whole thing.
So if we listen,
oh gosh, what are we doing here?
So if we listen to Michael Phelps, you know.
There you go. He just kind of looks, at least here, he looks very awkward. Like he's not really even talking. He's just kind of like standing there, giving people a thumbs up. Seems like he's kind of almost like fidgeting here. I'll be honest. It's just not. It's just not what I expected. I was very let down. To be honest, I was very let down by what we saw. But yeah, let's keep on watching here. Oh, that was a bit of a teaser there. Little teaser there, Newman.
Pretty cool seeing him up on stage with them like that. yeah, just they need to make sure that the sound man is doing his job, that the mic is coming through and cutting through the mix, so that the audience can hear them, and that it'll pick up on the speakers and stuff. But yeah, Amin did his thing, and it really made me feel good to see him living the dream, right? Like somebody made an entire album based off of the things that he's teaching us. Nobody's doing that for Gnostic Informant.
Oh, yeah, this. Oh man. Ooh. Oh, I died laughing when I first heard this.
Right? Nobody's doing that for any of these Breathalians, right? Who's making a Myth Vision soundtrack? Nobody's doing that for any of those people, right? Because their audience is disinspired.
Disinspired.
They don't give their audience anything to consume that drives them to take action, right? It's just epic flimflammery. It's like people, why are they even watching? It baffles me. It really does baffle me, like that they have such a large following, both of those guys. Myth Vision and Gnostic Informant have like so many subscribers, but they're not giving their audience anything of substance, and they're not giving.
All right. So, apart from the obvious dumb argument of, hey, because Agnostic Informant and Neil don't have a song, that somehow is a. And let me know. My computer's been a little weird. Let me know if you can't hear me. But apart from them, obviously, like it not being a negative on them because somebody didn't make a song, because they're obviously educational channels. Like they're talking about history. Why? What real reason? What natural reason is there to think there's an actual correlation between making art or a song and the truthfulness or the purpose or the greatness of an educational channel? Like I said previously, like this is like asking a bus driver and saying, hey, you are not doing good enough, you are really have no substance, you have no art, and therefore you're lesser than of a channel because nobody's making songs for you, bus driver. No, obviously a bus driver is there to drive people around. That is their purpose, and they should do a great job. And that's really all you want from a bus driver. If they're nice, if they say fun things, cool. But nobody's listening to a bus driver for that reason. But I've got I got a big spoiler alert for Bori, and I hate to say it, Bori, but I think that you might be in for a rude awakening here. I think that there might be some good reason to join the Myth Vision cult, to listen to Derek's song, because, oh, guess what? Someone made a song for him. And Derek, he talks to all kinds of scholars, like, tons of scholars, some of the top scholars in the world. So, of course, he has some substance. Maybe you just haven't seen those videos. I mean, Derek's even interviewed people that Amin would probably speak highly of, and yet he also has a song. Isn't that amazing? What was it he's saying? Nobody's making art for Derek. Well, he actually is, and this is a good indication, a great indication that obviously Amin and not Amin. What am I talking about? Derek he's a great person, and you should definitely follow him. Let's listen to this great song, because this will show that he is definitely worth listening to because he has songs. People make songs for him. That means he's definitely worth listening to. And obviously, because you have a song made for you, that means you have good understanding of history and you have good understanding of the ancient world and what people did back then.
Used to close my eyes. Someone held me through the dark.
All right, so I'll be honest here. This is not the song that I expected, and this is not even Derek. This is something that a fan made for him. Let's skip to the middle because it's kind of even themed for Derek.
There's a grief nobody talks about, the kind that doesn't come from death. It's the morning when you realize that your prayers were just your breath, just your lungs pushing air into a room that only echoed you. And the silence wasn't punishment, the silence was the truth.
No, Marcel, there's no way this is AI, not in the slightest. But guess what? It's art, and that's what it takes to be a good scholar.
I used to think that doubt was
No, Slab, I won't believe it. There's no way it's AI. No way possible, and even this picture is not AI. There's just no way possible.
weakness, something dark that pulled me down. Now I know it was my first honest word.
Okay, so I don't need to say it really, but if you've ever followed Gnostic or Myth Vision for more than 5 minutes, you'll know that there's tons and tons of atheist non-Christians that have been abused and been told misinformation for their entire life. They spent all of their purpose on Christianity. They left Christianity and they're stuck and have no idea what to do. So they find Derek and they find Neil and they're like, shoot, okay. This helps me make sense of the world. This makes sense where I went wrong in the past, and this kind of serves as some kind of therapy for that trauma that they had, those bad experiences in church. Once again, lots of good experiences happen at church, also lots of negatives, and lots of the negatives show up in the audience of Neil and Derek. So, naturally, it makes sense that, oh, someone would write this song because someone like Derek, even though, he's just interviewing ancient crusty old biblical scholars, they can be life-changing. Talking about these ancient things can be life-changing, and it can actually really help you with your purpose and just making meaning in life, just surprisingly. So that's why you get some like really cheesy, sounds like some kind of love song, but it's really kind of like an inspirational song, and we're not going to listen to the whole thing. But yeah, anyways, Bori, that's why you should become a Myth Visionite. You should get rid of the whole Ammonite thing, because Myth Vision has multiple scholars and people that actually know Greek and actually make good arguments. You should come to Myth Vision, reject Ammon. Myth Vision even has a Facebook group, a Discord, so there's a lot of bigger groups, so a lot more chance for friends. When they go to public things, they don't have people that commit SA and they don't have grapists come out and do bad things to people, so it's actually generally more safe. So yeah, you should come out. You should definitely do that and become a Myth Visionite. That would be great. You would get a lot out of it, I think. Okay, so what am I missing here? Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. Yeah, so we watched a bunch of videos. You can keep watching and go look at Boar's other videos of on stage where it looks like Ammon's is not really doing anything. Why? Like there are certainly aspects where Ammon looks like, hey, okay, so he's fitting along on stage, but also lots of times where he's not, and it's just really fascinating how you can see things through like foggy glasses where you can only see certain things. Like it's easy to kind of say, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not Amin's fault. It doesn't say it's anything about Amin that his mic wasn't working or that his he didn't show up on time because of the band thing. Like, that's okay. That's understandable. But it would make someone uncomfortable to say that, hey, this person has no experience. They don't really, look good on stage. They are messing up. They're kind of awkward. That would make someone like Bori feel uncomfortable. And I think that's actually what you see here in a second here. Let me see if I can find it. I did not plan well for this. Oh, gosh, dang it. Hopefully we can find it. No, here. It's probably near at the end.
And the presentation is next.
It's gonna take me. Somebody talk about stuff while I find this.
Good.
Okay, here you go.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So I was actually watching this live, not the whole thing, but I was watching good amounts of it live. And at the very end, maybe it might not have been the best timing for Bori because he says like, hey, I'm about to get off here. So maybe he's trying to leave. But I comment in the comments, I say, and you can't see him. I can't even show it to you because as you'll see in a second, Bori actually instantly muted, instantly blocked me on his YouTube. Just making a comment. I'll tell you what it is in a second. But Jevin was here for it when she saw it when it happened. But yeah, so at the end of the stream here, I say thank you for making this. I don't know if Bori saw that. Of course, my little name comes up. It says Amin Hillman Unmasked, and most people probably know who I am. I'm like the little devil to them, the anti-bad person. You stay away from him. And so my name pops up, and I say, yeah, thank you for doing this. Try to be nice. I'm generally a nice person. I don't throw insults at people. I try to be nice, and I try to keep things on the arguments, on the evidence, not on the person. I'm generally pretty okay. And I did actually, hey, no, I was serious. I actually said thank you because I thought it was really interesting to see the experience of seeing Amin in person, okay? Now, I was certainly trolling earlier with other things that I've said on this video. But when I said that to this Bori person, I was actually serious. And okay, maybe you're kidding too. I appreciate your sarcasm. I love sarcasm. All right. So that doesn't mean I'll always get the sarcasm, but I like the sarcasm. But anyway, so that is maybe seen as how Bori saw it. So let's watch the reaction here.
To tour. Oh my goodness. This guy, the audacity of this motherfucker to come into my stream and ask questions.
Ask questions. The audacity to ask questions. How dare he ask questions? So what I asked was, I don't know the exact words, but Jevin can second what I'm saying. Like, I could see maybe how it was interpreted as rude. I'll explain to you in a second. But what I basically asked was, I was like, I basically was like, hey, and Jevin can maybe tell me what I specifically said. I can't even remember the exact words, but I basically was like asking, I was like, hey, so it was interesting to see Amin be part of this group, considering his background. Is anybody aware of any band experience that he has? Like, I was seriously asking. I was like actually trying to figure out like, how did Amin get into this? Because it's so weird, so random for a Bible, like a Greek scholar. I wouldn't even consider him a scholar, but Greek scholar to like go on a band. Like, when does it ever happen? Never. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty normal question. I actually was curious, not trying to be rude. As I said previously, I said, hey, thank you for doing this. Like, being actually totally serious, trying to be nice. And he did not like it. He did not even like the idea that I would even hint at possibly. It wasn't just that I asked a question. I think that because I hinted at that because Amon doesn't have experience, that there's some kind of negative going on. I think maybe he saw that as like an insult, like, oh, you're trying to point out that there's something wrong with Amon because he has no experience. That's what you're trying to say. But I didn't even know if he didn't have experience, right? But yeah, let's continue to watch this.
What the hell? You gotta be kidding me right now. Do you know what made Amon decide to tour? Does he have experience in a band?
Okay, yeah, there you go. So do you know what made Amon decide to tour? Does he have experience in the band? So he doesn't say my name, but he actually does read what I said.
Rage farming. Oh god.
Yeah, so people in the comments were like rage farming. Like I don't which someone would say rage farming is like, you know, just saying stuff to try to get people irritated, to aggravated, to get attention or response. Like I mean, anybody who knows me I would obviously not try to do that, but I don't know. It was interesting that was the response.
The audacity, right?
The audacity! How dare he?
Anyway, just ignore these people.
Just ignore these people. Don't let them ask questions.
Immediate mute, right?
Immediate mute. Yes. So somebody in the comments was like, immediately mute him. Don't want to see him because seeing him words and seeing his face just makes me so uncomfortable. Jevin says, number one rule of cult: do not ask questions, and I think that's totally right. They do not like questions.
Hide. Put user on timeout. Okay, so
Yeah, I was actually a little shocked when this actually happened. I was like, man, like almost immediately he just like saw that as like some kind of attack or something about my presence he just hated. And maybe I could see that as like pointing out, hey, yeah, because he doesn't have experience, something's negative. But I mean, in all reality, like logically speaking, there's no reason to say that, hey, just because someone doesn't have experience in a band that's a negative on him. Or I mean, if I am an Amon fan, or if I have friends that I love and cherish and think really highly of, some of the top scholars, some of the top scholars in the world, if I still see them in person or online and they do something really cringe, like you know, going up to a mic the wrong way, or you know, looking kind of dumb on stage, or being a little awkward, and your band members telling you, oh yeah, that's not that one, and then messing it up like 3 times, well, I would think that's kind of funny, whether it's my sister, brother, my wife, whether it is a friend, whether it is the highest person in the world that I think so highly of. Whatever it is, I think that's going to be funny. Like, hey, people make mistakes, and it's not even like a mistake on his part, because like he wouldn't know. He wasn't in a position to know. He's not some famous guitar player or something. So of course he's not going to have a problem. But this person, boy, he just did not like the idea that I would ask a question saying, hey, does Amon have any experience? That is just, the world is ending for that person. So yeah, and just because we're kind of on this topic here, this is what No Mind mentioned earlier, and you can scroll up if you want to see that comment. Yeah, so this is a video uploaded by Ashes. I'm really curious where you got this, Ashes. If somebody could tell me in the comments. This is a conversation between Amon and this random guy on the side of the road, and let's. Oh gosh, I hate YouTube with this thing here. Okay, there we go.
Is that blasphemy? It's supposed to be. Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
So if you heard that, he said and then Amon's like, blasphemy. The guy's like, he's like, blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Hail Satan.
He says, blasphemy, hell Satan.
Right? Why? Because the gospel
Look at all these dumb stickers here.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that? He says, look at all these dumb stickers. Who is that about? Is this almonds? Is somebody saying that about almond stickers?
That's what they say. The cross can cover any sin. Any one of them that you
Look at
want.
these.
Yeah.
These are
still out. That's the whole
educated.
Okay, I don't think so. I think he's talking about other stickers, and he's saying that these other stickers, that almond stickers, are the educational ones.
Under 20, dude. What's he doing with kids? These aren't adult men.
Look at his face. Oh my
Did you know
gosh.
that? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. I don't think he knows anything at this point.
Would you let me hang around with guys that were in their teens and below at 4 a.m. in a park and one of them's naked? Very cool. No, then why the fuck did Jesus? They put him on the cross for a reason. He died for his own sin.
He died for his own sins.
He died. How do we take that message to the world?
How do we take that message to the world?
Right. Too many people love Jesus. They never even read the book.
Culturally
Kind of
appropriated, hijacked the entire religion, and then they rewrote it in their favor.
What did you think?
And so the guy that I say probably.
Oh my goodness, this is so wild. This is like, I think this is probably the most cringe I've ever seen Amin. Like, it's one thing to be on stage and like, hey, you're not in the environment you used to. Now, why Amin is going around and giving stickers to people, and especially like people that are obviously on drugs, that this guy just clearly just has no understanding of reality right now in this video. He doesn't even know where he is. He doesn't even know what he's looking at. And why does Amin feel like I just don't understand. Why did Amin think that this is someone he should talk to?
That blasphemy. It's supposed to be.
Now, there is an aspect where it's like, okay, so Amin's group is, many of them are people that have been on drugs or passed on drugs. So maybe that is an aspect where it's like, is he targeting people that are on drugs that are more likely to accept this?
Blasphemy. 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 Hail Satan. Right? Why?
Hell Satan, right? No, Amin. Based off of what you've said in this video, I have no idea what you're talking about. He said the cross covered your sin. So it's interesting because he's using all this Christian language, and this guy said, yep,
Look at all these dumb stickers here.
That's what they say. The cross can cover any sin. Any one of them that you
Look at
want.
these.
Yeah.
These are
Still out. That's the whole
help.
Under 20, dude. What's he doing with kids? These aren't adult men. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Would you let me hang around with guys?
He has ears to hear. Is that what Amin was thinking about when he says that silly little phrase? Those who have ears to hear. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. It's just so weird to me that Amin would go out here doing evangelism. And so what people also don't think about, is that, so Amin, his group is a very specific group, okay? This is not just like people you see on the side of the street, or you see in a church, or see people that you see in just like normal places like a bar. Certainly some people do go there, and certainly you might see here or there, but many of these people in Amin's group are like people way out there. Like way out there. Like, we talked about in the past about all the people that had legal troubles with little kids, or with I'm drawing on blanks with all the different things. You can check out other videos. There's people like this David fella. These types of people that do these immoral things typically do them for a number of different reasons, but one of them It often is a place of like just like low mental capacity, like not understanding the consequences of your actions. But there's another aspect where it's like more likely to give into peer pressure, or more likely to be not a sociopath, maybe a sociopath, someone that doesn't really have an understanding of right and wrong, or an ability to understand people's emotions. So, but really deep down, most people that I see online that follow Amin are people that are looking for some type of purpose, looking for some type of special knowledge to make themselves feel good. They want to know the thing that proves to all the other scholars wrong. Proves that you are knowing something that nobody else knows, that you're special, and that you're gonna bring about the all this great things because of what Amin's saying. And what Bori was talking about earlier is like that art and the purpose and the substance. What Bori was communicating was not like a knock on Gnostic, although it was attempted, it was trying to critique him or critique Neil. But what he was really communicating, what it really tells us is that Bori wants the group, he wants the communion, the fellowship, the sense of purpose. That's what he wants. He wants people that are willing to sacrifice because they see something great. He wants this really great sense of purpose, and Bori's willing to sacrifice. He made a song just destroying, saying dumb stuff about Neil, because that is what he wants. That is what he wants in a group, and this is what Ahmed's group attracts. You might have people, and you might be watching this and think, "Oh, well, no, I like him because he has cool arguments from the Greek. Because I'm learning about history. I'm learning about Greek, and that's great. Okay, that's not. I'm not referring to you in this conversation. And I'm referring to the people like in his Discord, the people that, as I said before, like want that purpose and want all of that other stuff. Certainly, there are other people that are there for the education. I'm not saying they don't exist or something, but for the most part, why you see so many odd things going on in this group is because it's a very interesting mix of people that are looking for that purpose, and that's kind of what people come to cults for in general, anyways. So yes, what was point? I can't remember the original point that I was making there, but. Oh, what I was saying was that, like, it's a very special type of group that Ahmed attracts for the most part, and that's not the type of person that you're just gonna find randomly on the street, especially when they're high on drugs. No, what Ahmed's group attracts is something that's mostly what you find online, because on places like YouTube, what YouTube does is it takes things that you watched, and then it shows you other things similar to that. Things, similar topics, similar things that people kind of in your same place are watching. It develops an algorithm, and it doesn't show you videos like mine. So most of Amin's fans are not actually watching my stuff. You will certainly get it because Hillman's name pops up, but for the most part, like the people that are watching Amin, they're not watching like actual scholars study ancient history. They're not watching baseball or sporting events. Like there's a specific genre of what they're looking for. So, and then they're not going to be seen, like if someone in Amin's group, if they click on my video and they say I don't like that, what YouTube will do is it will stop showing my videos, because it's like, oh, this person didn't even watch the video, they might not be interested, so we're going to stop showing Amin Hillman News or whatever, or Occult Examiner or Neil's channel. They're not going to show that because they click off of it, or they see it in the algorithm and then they keep scrolling because they're like, oh, I don't like that guy. So what happens is that you get this very specific genre of the world of YouTube that you can't find easily in other places, like if you just go on the street, you can't find a Amen Hillman church. Yes, you can find cults here and there, but they're relatively rare in the grand scheme of things in comparison to all the different churches and religious groups out there, and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and Christians. Very, very small minorities actually would be considered a cult. And, certainly Christian groups can be considered cults. I'm not saying that, but I hopefully you get what I'm saying. If you don't, feel free to ask. But what I'm saying with all this, the whole reason I mentioned all this is because Amen is going out and like evangelizing for his group, which is, on itself is just like, well, I thought we were supposed to go against the Christians, what they were doing. But of course they have a purpose. They have to tell the world, right? So his Amen's evangelism or whatever, he I don't know, from my impression, it seems like he's going, well, I could understand why he would go to a drug person because there's lots of other druggy people in the group. At the same time, like, even if this guy wasn't on drugs, the average person is just not going to care what Amen. They're going to think what Amen has to say is crazy. So really, that's why you see in the online world why it's so popular is because YouTube's got this algorithm that pushes all of these specific groups of people that are looking for a specific type of thing together. That's how they're able to access it. Otherwise, like there's not really any way for this group to grow in person. So let's see here. And well, I shouldn't. And to be clear, there, it's not that I don't think that it would grow in person or that it does grow. I'm saying that it doesn't grow as much. Like it's a lot harder to find someone interested in what Amen has to say, otherwise. And so that's that. There's something that I want to talk about though, is actually no. Let's go ahead and get into that. So there is the persona that Amen gives off. So Amen gives off in his videos like, oh god, and like he's slapping the whip of whoever, and he's got all these like fun little phrases, and he's kind of funny in some ways, and like very entertaining kind of guy. I really appreciate from the very, very beginning. I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. I don't have that kind of skills. It would take such a big change for me to do that, and it gets attention too. It's entertaining. But there's the question of like, is this guy on drugs? Is he playing a character? From the very beginning of this channel, you might have seen this video here, which is one of the earliest videos we have of Amen, and he has a very different personality, a presentation style here.
Honestly, I'll say a few remarks, and I want to spend a bit of time on questions, but I'll say just a few remarks. And I want to bring this down to where it's interesting. So I don't want to leave anything out. But you have to understand that I came from a background of having both the sciences and the humanities. So I have a degree in a PhD in classics. I do the Greek and Latin. That's my thing. Not even history so much as just the language. I read the text. I know how to work the grammar. That's my strong point. So what I did was I said, hey, there's all this scientific stuff out there that we don't have. We haven't translated. So I started working on it, and it just sucked me in.
Right, so that's hilarious. You didn't even realize the same person. Yeah, I mean, he's like a completely different haircut. He's wearing glasses. He's got facial hair, and talks completely different. Has a suit on.
It's a huge, and let me explain to you what's going on, and then we'll talk about marijuana. So an idea that I came up with, I was having problem with the vocabulary, with the Greek vocabulary, and there are some big holes in the ancient.
All right, so I think that's just really fascinating. Yeah, that is so different than what we saw earlier. Do I have any? Okay, yeah, like this is very different than what we see here.
Lady Babylon, it's nice to be coming back to YouTube. I want you to be putting up everybody's comments.
good comments. People, we have a change in cameras tonight and microphones. Just bear with us. This is what I'm calling the interim, people. This is when I'm setting. Tonight, we come to the trial, the test of our very beings. Oh, God, people.
Oh God, people.
Scott, you better get your splash bags ready, but this time, set them for gore. Oh my God, people. Oh my God. Who do we stand for? Do you know what this tour has done? I gotta step back tonight.
Yeah, so like a huge difference in presentation, and this is like almost Almond being mild. So this is like very clearly a character that he's playing. But what's really fascinating to me is that in an online world, in a presentation like this, even though he's in his kitchen and it's a little weird in itself, he has the control. He can shut off a stream if he wants to at any moment. If he feels like he's being weird or uncomfortable, he can just shut it off. If there's a comment, he can just delete the comment. There's all kinds of mods that do that all the time. If I make a comment in that chat, I'm going to be instantly deleted. He's not going to read it. He's not even going to look at it. Amin, of course, has the ability to plan all this out as well. But that's very different than what you see in this video, where like it's just a random thing on the street. He probably didn't know he was even going to come up against this guy. He didn't know that he might even didn't know he was on drugs. Like it's hard to prepare for that, and that shows that he's got a very different persona. His act is very different on the YouTube, especially when you look at the old video there where he's like talking normally, which shows that unless he just randomly decide to get on drugs every single video. No, I think it's an act. I think it's clearly an act. And that's cool that it's entertaining. That's awesome. I appreciate that you're entertaining, and in some ways I've thought about doing something like that myself. But I think it's important to know, like, one of the reasons people like this guy, Amin, is because of his character, the character he plays. That's not a real character. Like he's not actually on drugs. He's not actually demon possessed. That's another thing. Demon possessed, all the stuff going back there. He's not actually because like this weird persona gives people the impression, oh, he's either demon possessed or it's getting some information from like a demon, and that's how he's able to abuse. That's how he's able to communicate this stuff. But it has some side effects too. Kind of like how witches are like super weird. Like in the movies, you like talk weird and have a hunchback and stuff like that. It's like a persona. And that is important there, right? It stops me entertaining when people start getting hurt, and that is the to get to the really end of the problem. There is that people accept him for some of these things that have nothing to do with the logic. And then what happens is they end up putting themselves in bad situations because of the cult dynamics, because of the vibe that they get, the feelings, the communion, the friendship, the sense of a purpose. All this stuff plays into this, and it makes it really, really difficult to say no when someone is about to hurt you, or going to threaten you, or gives you drugs, and you want to be accepted, you want to have a good time, so you might get abuse, and that's terrible, that's horrible, and that's why a big reason why I do this channel is because it's important to recognize when our brains are kind of tricking us. And the thing is that and I talk about this in my book, that there's tons and tons of studies that they've done, is that people don't realize when they are being affected by this. It's just not like if you ask Bori, you say like he might say, hey, yeah, it makes me feel like I have a purpose, but he's at the end of the day he's also going to say like, oh yeah, he's right about the creek. He knows what he's talking about. He thinks there's a purpose because he's got a message that's true that needs to be told. But like Bori is never like, he does not have the skills to understand what actually Amin is arguing and whether or not it's true. Bori there's no possible way, I could bet you with $1,000,000 that he is not taking the time to actually understand the arguments, understand the Greek, understand the critiques, because all salesmen sound great until you hear the negatives, until you hear that, oh yeah, the tire's not working. The leather seats are great, but also the machine, the part of the engine just doesn't run at all. But of course, the salesman's not going to tell you that. So all arguments sound great until some person comes along and critiques them. So you have to be able to look at the other side. But people in this group, for the most part, don't. They hate the other side. It's seen as the devil, the horrible thing. The listening to other opinions is seen as so bad, and you're seen as less than if you do that. So yeah, and really important to pay attention to that and realize when those mental tricks are your brain's playing tricks on you. Yeah, so we talked about the response by Bori to his impressions on the thing, how he kind of avoids the negative feelings of Amin messing up or Amin not cutting out for it, and he even says, "Oh yeah, Amin's great on stage." And then there's all kinds of people in the comments that are saying, "Oh yeah, Amin's great. He seems like a natural. He's perfect at this. He was like kind of like he was born for this." But then like when you actually look at it, it's like he actually kind of looks a little awkward. Now he does look good sometimes, but he looks a little awkward. Are you sure he was born for this? Are you sure about that? Are you sure? But then also there's the character of what you see on stage is the real Amin. I think Amin in real life is actually really awkward. I would bet on that. I think Amin is a little kind of awkward person. Doesn't have good social skills. He for whatever reason, was Amin on drugs when that happened? When he decided to randomly go up to someone and that was clearly on drugs and try to evangelize that? What that shows about Amin is that he doesn't have the perception to realize, hey, this person is someone that I should talk to. This is a person I shouldn't talk to. This person is going to be a receptive. This is not. And when he even said something to him, he should have immediately realized, okay, this guy's on something. We should go spend our time somewhere else. Why he didn't do that is wild to me. I have no idea. But I think it shows that the stage presence of Amin is not what you think he is. It just isn't. That's cool. You don't have to, have a perfect person. But I think it kind of points to a bigger picture, though, of maybe everything he's telling you is not what you think it is. I also want to talk about the stickers. This is part of the forbidden video, the one that was taken down because Hillman made all kinds of references to assault and stuff. But because YouTube does not like that, right? So this is, let's watch this. We can actually get a picture of the sticker.
WWJD. Right? What would Jesus do? And there he is. There he is, right, people? Doesn't that say everything? Nice job. Right? And people, the stories.
Yeah, so WWJD Mark 14, that's obviously what was the child doing in the park at 4 a.m. and whatever. The naked child. That dumb thing that all the Aminates say. They just parrot what he says. Now, from a presentation perspective, I think that's kind of cool. Like that WWJD, what would Jesus do is the famous Christian phrase that people would ask of, like, oh, if you want to make a good moral decision, what would Jesus do? Oh, well, Jesus would do the right thing. Well, it kind of turns it on its head, doesn't it? What would Jesus do? Jesus would do the wrong thing, actually. Mark 14 says otherwise. YouTube at Laylee Babylon 666 YouTube channel. It's like, that's pretty good advertising. That's like, hey, if I see that, I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? That's weird. That's interesting. So, but I mean, if this drugged out guy sees this, like, what? He's not gonna have any idea what that even is. But another thing is, like, why are they just putting random pictures on things? Is that even legal? Um, is that uh, is is there like a is that kind of like I mean, clearly this, if you look in the background, this thing is already been messed up. So maybe that's totally okay, but it's already been messed up, so we might as well put ours on there. But I'd be very curious to see, like, did they just randomly put stickers a bunch of places? Is this like a special wall in the band place?
Hope, the stories of hope, a woman looking at the liberation and saying that God is a she, right? Comprehending that, standing up, suddenly life making sense. This was the kind of thing that was going through the minds of the people. How do I know this? Because I talked to a lot of them. And I didn't do much talking this time. I did a lot of listening. A lot of listening. Put that picture of.
It's definitely fair, Marcel. So something that Amon never talks about is, so like, obviously I'm so uh, getting rid of the whole historical question, because that's the whole, like, is the Gospels even historical? Is certainly a good question. Did Jesus even say what was said that he said? Like Matthew 5, the Sermon on the Mount. Did he even say any of that? Is it word for word? It's definitely not word for word. But what, as far as what Jesus said, like, for the most part, it's greatly influenced our culture today, our American culture, in raising moral values. And I'm not saying like it's the only thing involved. There's other positives, but um, Christianity in general has had a positive impact on a lot of different things. This is something that even atheist scholars talk about. And as far as, like, from a moral perspective, like, what Marcel says, turning the other cheek. So when an enemy comes up to you, do you fight back? No, you turn the other cheek. Like, that's great wisdom. Like, what is fighting going to do? Now, this is what Amen says. Amen says, hey, we should encourage fighting. That's what he does in this video. That we're not going to watch it, but I showed in other videos that Amen's like, hey, no, Neil is somehow associated with this person that did the bad thing, David, and he basically says you should attack him. He encourages violence. It's pretty horrible, despicable, um, and he even calls him a rapist at one point. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. I'm talking about Neil. Amen calls Neil a rapist, it's like metaphorically or something, but still, it's still pretty terrible to even use that as like some kind of metaphor, um, because it could be easily misunderstood. So, yeah, no, Amen doesn't ever talk about the positive Jesus does. So, like, when you look at the sticker that Amen has and it says, "What would Jesus do?" It's like, so Amen, are we just going to ignore all of the good teachings, the positive moral teachings that you unknowingly rely on in your moral ethics of what's wrong and right, uh, or what you've been influenced by? Like, are your parents taught you something, but their parents got that from somewhere. Like, he came up in a Christian environment, so obviously some of his ethics are going to be influenced by his upbringing, his Christian upbringing. Um, but like, there seems to be like some kind of contradiction. It's like, okay, we're just going to ignore all the good things that Jesus said, the good wise teachings about morality, and we're just going to focus on this, this bad thing. Like, there seems to be some kind of contradiction here. Like, how many people in ancient history do we see doing really, really bad things, but also have great teachings on morality? It's very rare. Not the strongest argument, like, for disproving what I've been saying, but I think it should raise an important question. All right. So yeah, let's keep going here.
Orion up there. People, look at Orion with his guitar. Right? Look at this man. Oh, God. States of ecstasy. How much ecstatic porn rock and roll punk can you take? Look at this guy. People, he always does this too. He goes and will start a set, raise his guitar up, raise his guitar up. It's gorgeous. It's like watching a priest. It's like watching a priest making the place holy, right? Hail Orion. God damn. People, I just want you to look. Just look. Give me another one. Give him that one. People.
So this is where he gets into his like absolute infatuation for the band. Really odd. It doesn't tell you a lot about the experience. His experience it does, but the experience of like people that were actually there. So we're not going to talk about that again.
Said, oh God, this is the greatest feeling. Looking into the eyes of the people and giving them the words, the power of the Antichrist in their very eyes. Oh, people. Oh, those musicians around us, right? People, you have to remember all of this carried. Do you see those gents? You see those gents around there?
I think I had the wrong timestamp. Oh well. There you go.
It's Madeleine, of course. You see Josh. People, these are all, put them up. These are all people that I had the privilege of meeting, the privilege and honor of meeting. Students who have invested their lives. Show them the pictures, not of me, but now show them the pictures. And people all touching was included. People all touching was included. I wanted contact. Go ahead, blow that up. I wanted to be able to hug people. And I did. I hugged a lot of people. And there's Penelope on the road, right? There she is. Right, people? Thank you. Hail Satan.
Yeah. So once again, just putting random stickers places. Why? I mean, kind of funny, I guess, and maybe good advertising, but why? Like, why is it? What are the chances that someone's actually going to see this and be like, "Oh, yes, I should check this out"? Maybe I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys actually think that this would be something that you would click on if you saw? I could see maybe like on a car, but on a random sign that should not be there. That probably be taken down tomorrow. And like I don't know. It's kind of like that that rock vibe of like we could do whatever we want. F the police and F the government.
Come again, right? Oh. What I'm trying to show you is that the people in satanic congregation are the cats meow. Put him up there. This is one of my students, people. Oh God. Do you know this man spent time at the grave of Ed Poe, right? Ed Poe. Keep showing the people. Keep showing the people, Chewy. These people are studying Greek. Lady Babylon, these are the people that you can trust. These are the people that you can trust, but I'm going to have a very serious conversation coming up with you here. I'm going to have a very serious conversation, right? And by the way, this is all about hope.
I would love to see that.
This is all about
to hear that conversation.
Hope. Put them up.
This is all about hope. Meeting these people in person is all about hope.
Put Snappy and Madalena up. People, there's pictures by Snappy too.
Oh, look at that. A precious little photo. Two of the top Ammonites.
Right? Oh. People, it was a thrill. And I did not have enough time for anyone. I didn't. Show them those pictures. All of these people that I met for like an inadequate, just a brief amount of time. And these people all traveled out to see me. Right? and I had inadequate people. Why? Why was it inadequate? Because if they were assholes, 30 seconds would have been enough.
And this is something that we talked about in other videos. Ahmed goes on these little like spiels of like just like hyping up just random people. Some of it's not random. Some of it's people like, you know, that are higher up in the group. But he just like hypes them up. It just says all kinds of nice things like, oh, this person's studying Greek and he's an expert and he's got all this wise knowledge. And then like when he goes on there, he just like spouts random nonsense that not even Ahmed agrees with.
But it wasn't. These were good people, and I realized Lady Babylon is full of good people. I told you I would give you the good news first, right? Lady Babylon is full of good people. Right?
So what he's, I think there's also an aspect here of he's talking about all these are good people because he is trying to give people the impression like, oh, we're a safe group, and then he's about to talk about the essay, the grape that happened, or allegedly happened. So yeah, this is I just think it's interesting because I don't know if Amin actually cares, but I know that each person, like these people are happy. Like these people go out of their way to see Amin. They probably paid some good money. Snappy's got Junius shirt on. He certainly wasn't, I mean, he probably wasn't given it. Most likely he paid for that. Somebody's taking that money, even though Amin is, you know, really against money. So, I don't know. That's just as you can very clearly tell, there's a very big bonding time for everybody, which is cool. But maybe like you know, like did these people learn anything while they were there? No, you know, this wasn't like some educational tour. This was entertainment, bonding time. Get to meet your cult later. And for some people, had really bad experiences of abuse, sadly. So, yeah, really fun stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. I just find it so interesting to look in the world of Ammonites and it's like reading a book on all the cults that happened in the 70s. But we're seeing it live in person. You can go and talk to these people. You can see the dynamics happen in real time. And it's just really fascinating to see it work because you have an aspect of like actual ancient texts and odd stuff that comes with it. But anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what I missed. And I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you check out my other videos on the band. There's a lot more to say about this later. But thank you guys and hope you have a good one.